we've seen sort of a model with that with Dirk Nowitzki, and it wasn't really successful. They were able to piece together pieces and win a championship.
It wasn't
but it wasn't
successful
really
with Dirk Nowitzki?
big-name free agents coming to Dallas.
Okay, I understand you there.
No, I mean, what big names went to go play with him as free agents, right? There weren't really a lot of them. And then so you go to Dirk, even this year with Luka, you're talking about Kyle Lowry was a target. They had salary cap space to sign somebody. Couldn't get him. Kyle Lowry picked Jimmy Butler as a teammate over Luka Doncic here. So it makes you wonder if they're looking at it like, well, maybe he's too young. We don't know what he's going to play like with another superstar teammate because of that usage rate up at the top of the league with Joel Embiid. We really don't know. And if you want an example of somebody who has played beside him, Kristaps Porzingis, not really been the player that we expected him to be with Dallas. So I think there's a lot of question marks there. But at the top of the list is there aren't really a lot of free agents clamoring to go to Dallas, even if Luka.
I want to get to everybody else, but real quick, Israel, point blank, if he could have Dirk Nowitzki's career, that would be a no for you?
No, I think at this point, at this level of his career, we're talking LeBron comparisons for Luka. You're talking multiple championships, not just.
Bomani Jones, I'll bring you in here.
All right, so Izzy is absolutely right that Dallas has not been able to bring in free agents. And when you go back and look year by year at the rosters that Dirk Nowitzki played with, it was malpractice what he dealt with. Even the year they won that championship, you'd be like, hey, they had Jason Kidd in his 17th season. Now, you absolutely pay him this $40 million a year. There's no question. Whether you can build around him, they're going to have to figure out something creative because, again, they can't attract free agents necessarily. But I don't know why I would want to play with Luka Doncic necessarily. Izzy points to it. It's not just the high usage rate. We don't know what it will be like for somebody else to play alongside him. We saw James Harden when he became super high usage rate guys. They brought in guys to try to play with him. None of them wanted to keep trying to do it. So, if you're Dallas, this is what you give a go because we've seen Luka as the one-man band do some incredible things while losing in the first round of the playoffs. You presume that could get better, but he's also going to have to get better and do things like play defense.
Some hot takes there with some cold water here on Luka. Clinton Yates, I'll bring you in here.
I can't believe what I'm listening to. Did you guys watch him actually play basketball? Obviously, he's somebody you want to make sure that you keep around because he puts people in the seats. Hell, the Slovenian national team is wearing Mavs practice jerseys because his influence is that major globally. And if you're going to compare him to Dirk Nowitzki, a guy who won an MVP and won a title, and say that that's not good enough in a market like Dallas with a guy like Mark Cuban who's been going nuts and can't figure anything out, that is a total win. Luka is the best thing that's coming to this league from across the pond in 10 years. You do every single thing you can to keep that dude in your building, for sure. What are we talking about?
Well, I don't think Israel and Bomani went that far, but they put him at LeBron's level, I guess. Well, now, Sarah Spain,
where were you?
You can tell me who you're with, Clinton or Izzy-Bo.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they were arguing necessarily different things. Everyone agrees you give him this deal, he's earned it, and it's incredibly impressive that he doesn't have to do anything else to get that 207 guaranteed. It's already in there. Some other younger players are going to have to achieve things to have that opportunity. He's already done it, which is unbelievable at the age of 22. You pointed out what he did for Team Slovenia in the Olympics. You pointed out that when he was playing with grown men as a teen, he was a proven winner, and he was making the Mavs much better than expected. Kristaps Porzingis not being that great is not an indictment of Luka to me. It's who he's been his entire career. They need to put someone legitimate next to them, and then we could see the proof of concept that you can have a second option and another superstar with him. At the age of 22, doing what he's already done, to argue that his usage rate or his dominance of the ball is a reason to believe that he can't be paired with another superstar ignores all the other times we've used that argument when we put people together and then watch them make each other better. I absolutely would be building around Luka right now, and I do think this is a destination now that they have him wrapped up for a long time.
Bomani back in.
I just told you a dude they tried to do that with twice with James Harden in Houston, and it didn't go. Now, it worked when they put him with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Wait. Hold on. What do you mean by you saying that he is not James Harden? That seems to be the most similar that you could make to him.
And he's not the same guy.
What's the difference?
What's the difference?
Because they looked real similar to me.
Real quickly.
Application to your
Early
team,
on in his career.
Go ahead, Israel.
Early on in his career, LeBron James in Cleveland. Great. They tried to put a couple pieces on him to sort of fix it. Hey, we can win a championship with this. Nope. 7 years go by, they didn't win a championship. Why? Because nobody wanted to go there, even to play with LeBron James. Chicago is different than Cleveland, different than Dallas. That seems to be a better organization, or Jordan was the one guy.
I'll let you get
but right
in
here,
there.
we're seeing in this era of the league, not going to Dallas or random cities like that.
He is immensely young. You do not have to have free agents coming there right now now, look at the team that just won the NBA Finals. You can build. There is time.
That's a different argument.
Point.
I think the crux of the issue here is, and Bomani, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you said something before we sat down that stuck with me. You would take Zion over Luka Doncic. And I thought it was unanimous that Luka was the player in the NBA you would build your team around. I mean, we're talking about guys in their 21, 22, 23-year age, but you don't see him that way, Bomani.
No, that's less about how I see Luka than the fact that I think that Zion has potential to be a first-team all-defense guy who can also distribute the ball while being absolutely unstoppable when it comes time to get into the paint. I haven't said a bad thing about Luka Doncic, but I do think from what we've seen him run the Allen Iverson model thus far. I am curious how it goes when you start actually having to win as opposed to just being happy, because Sarah says that he's exceeded every expectation. No, they did not exceed expectations last year, especially not coming out of the bubble with what they did in the first round before that.
Israel.
You could sell me on Zion as well, in large part because he doesn't need the ball to be effective. He can have a 60% shooting percentage. He can dominate the paint. He can do all these things without actually having the ball in his hands for most of the shot clock. And yes, it is a problem with the usage rate that high. We saw it initially with LeBron and Dwayne sort of had to pull away and figure it out. We haven't seen it yet with the Nets because they haven't been on the floor at the same time, all three of them. So yes, if you bring in another ball-dominant person, just like they did with James Harden in Houston, it's going to be a bit of a puzzle to try to figure out. And is Luka in the mode to try to really figure out somebody else right now and be his teammate, or is he just trying to go off and be himself? I would say he's doing that.
That Luka is not the one guy in the NBA you're building your team around. Sarah, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, I mean, you can name a bunch of other names that are going to be really exciting to watch build around Zion, Trae Young, even someone like Booker. I'm flabbergasted that you're looking at a 22-year-old who's already done as much as he has and deciding because you haven't seen it yet, that means it can't happen. That's about roster construction so far for him, not about the way that Luka plays, in my opinion.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.